You don't know the power of the dark side, but you will find out right now as I read a passage from one of my disciples, Anna Mocikat. Behind blue eyes. Okay, I can't see in this thing. 1 second. 2 seconds.
Hi, Anakin here, and just gonna read a book, cause that's what I do. I'm intelligent and deep, cause I'm Anakin. Hello. So I'm gonna read this book, Behind Blue Eyes, and so it's like cyberpunk, which means it's totally me, cause I'm punk as hell, and I'm all cyborg out. So yeah, dark side is, F-U-C-K for those of you who can't spell. Anyway, Behind Blue Eyes, Anakin Skywalker here. I'm ready to go. So let's do this, you know what I'm saying? Power to the dark side. Nephilim had not... Oh, wrong voice, sorry. Nephilim had not told anyone... Oh, no, again, wrong voice. That's C-3PO, isn't it? Nephilim had not told anyone about the strange images she had seen shortly before passing out. She wasn't sure what they meant, if they were some kind of flashbacks or merely fantasies she had before her brain overloaded and she blacked out. I have been there. Annie has not always been straight edge. Anyway, somehow she believed that what she had experienced was no one's business, and even more, an instinct was telling her that it could get her in trouble if someone did find out. So she was better off keeping that confusing experience to herself. It most likely meant nothing anyway, and she would soon forget about it. Trust me, girl, use the Force. Listen to that. The glitches, however, were intriguing. She admitted herself and would never share that thought with anyone else since the incident at the algae farm. They had occurred 3 times so far, lasting between 3 to 5 hours each time. In that time, she had been utterly cut off from the grid. She couldn't connect to it, and no one could connect to her. She couldn't use the internal comm, and no one could send her directions. She felt like an independent person, a separate entity, free. For the first time in her life, she experienced how wonderful freedom could be. Even if it was only the liberation inside her head. No voices talking to her, no constant information flow, just enjoying the silence, like Depeche Mode style. I get it. No one listening to her or watching through her eyes. How could something so simple be so delightful? And wouldn't it be amazing if it was always this way? These were outrageous thoughts, forbidden and extremely dangerous, she knew. In fact, Dr. Mendez hadn't been so wrong when she said that Nephilim was a flawed unit, damaged and useless. If Dr. Emmerich was right, and the glitches would pass eventually, the memory of them never would. The sweet taste of freedom. Yet, Metatron would not hear any of it. He protected her. So he must be like the Emperor, right? Super cool in that way, you know what I'm saying? She wondered how he felt about the glitches. She hadn't openly discussed it or shown any type of reaction, but she was certain that her connection loss bothered him more than anyone else. It meant that he had lost control, and he hated a few things more than that, if anything. He had no choice but to accept it, at least for the time being. She smiled at this thought. For now, everything was back to normal and functioning properly. Nephilim was connected to the grid, and her life wasn't hers. She needed to distract herself and stop thinking. It wasn't good for her. She decided to take a long, hot shower first. It usually helped her to relax. She got rid of her clothes and walked into the bathroom. Here she stood naked in front of the mirror and inspected the wound on her side. The cut was about 12 inches long and still fire red in color. Only a little bit deeper, and the assassin would have slashed right through her kidney, which would have turned out to be very unpleasant. The glue the cut was filled with had a flexibility that adjusted with every movement. Nephilim believed that she should be combat ready in 2 or 3 days. Don't rush it, girl. Trust me. I've been burned before. It's like not cool. Anyway, that was Behind Blue Eyes by the Dark Side chick, Anna Mocikat, Queen of Cyberpunk. Happy Devil's Night. And remember, follow the hashtag Halloween Book Treats.